So some stories are written in books, but some stories are carried in the hearts of the people who actually lived them. Today I have someone special in this conversation, Major General Lakhwinder Singh, who's fought the Kargil War, emerged as a winner, and captured his story in his book, The Untold Kargil Story. Welcome, General Lakhwinder Singh. And what is interesting is this conversation is not just between me and General Lakhwinder Singh. We also have with us his granddaughter Dea, and we want this conversation to be between someone who's born in the times of peace, trying to understand the story of what got us this peace, by someone who's actually fought the war, made the sacrifices to make this happen. So I'm sure this is going to be an interesting conversation for all of us. General Lakhwinder Singh, let me first try and understand from you that when you come face to face with the enemy, and this is not in the sight or scope, when you see the enemy in front of you, did it ever occur to you that this is not an enemy, this is a human being standing in front of me, and something that led you to a dilemma of how to act at that point in time?
So Harry, it's a question which I've never answered before. That this question is so emotional. But let me be as frank as I can be. Actually, when you come across an enemy and they're firing at you, there's no such feeling that we have human in front of us. Because in that situation, it's do or die.
Absolutely.
Either you get him or he gets you. Right. So that feeling of the human touch, that he's the human fighting us. Of course, in the back of our mind, we all know the soldiers do bidding of the politicians. They are not per se enemies. Right. They're per se nothing against each other. They don't even know each other. But at time of battle and combat or sea operations, when you're faced with death, or either I get him or he'll get me. So I don't think that ever feeling comes that at that point of time you get such feeling that the human there.
How many people have you shot in your life? And how many people of them that you shot died?
Actually I'm an artillery man. So I fought a war in 1971. Mm-hmm. And that was a place called, the famous 1971 war of Bangladesh liberation. Absolutely. Right? I was then a captain, and I was in the western sector of the country in a place called Dea Nanak. Mm-hmm. And we were asked to capture a Dusi Band, okay, along with 19 GR, Gurkha rifles. Right. We went there. So per se, we are not actually firing at the enemy with a small arms. Mm-hmm. We are per se directing artillery fire most of the times. But of course, we are in the lead.
Right.
So I remember a very interesting incident which will interest you. During the attack, there was one pillbox on the Dusi Band. Mm-hmm. Now Dusi Band, let me draw your attention to that. What is it? In a plane, there are no heights. Right. So they make Dusi Bands to give elevation to the enemy or defender. In front of Dusi Band, the area is totally clean. So the enemy can see somebody attacking him and fire at him. Right. And behind Dusi Band, there is a maintenance track of 20-25 feet. Mm-hmm. And there's a total circunda. So we're on the banks of Ravi River. Opposite the Kartarpur Sahib Gurdwara. Mm-hmm. It was there. So we came across a pillbox. It was, there's not much light. It must be about 10, 11 at night. From the bunker, they were firing at us. And then we closed the bunker. There were 10, 12 people around the bunker, including me. Mm-hmm. And we were firing inside the bunker. We had 10 guns at that time. Firing with 10 guns, and the infantry soldiers firing the rifles, and they were throwing grenades in them. HE grenades, which fragments and kills people. They also got phosphorus grenades, which burns people. I know Pakistan is very scared of getting burnt. So there was 3 or 4 people inside, 5 people at most inside. It's not a big place. But after about 5-6 minutes of firing inside, one Pakistani came out of the bunker towards the Kartarpur Sahib side. He came out and we saw him coming out and he ran away. He disappeared. He survived. Now that has left a deep mark in my mind. That if God wants to save you, if you believe in God or superpower or some power, they want to save you, nobody can kill you. There was no way that man should not have been blown to smithereens inside the pillbox. He survived. Now that is something which have left a great mark on me. It is not the same question, but I thought the interesting point I'll tell you. Then of course I went a second attack, and there did come across a bunker. I also fired. I don't know how many my bullets killed or the rifleman's bullets killed, but I did fire at people. So I cannot give a count at how many people have fired. But you ask me how many people are killed by firing artillery on them, there'll be hundreds of them.
I can understand that when you are facing an enemy, you either shoot or you get shot, right? But on the hindsight, when you come back and you look at that, when, obviously all of us watch news, so do you. And when you look at what we have done, how many people have been killed in the war, etc., has there ever been a guilt that, थे तो वो इंसान, वो भी उनकी भी फैमिली वेट कर रही थी पीछे? Does that guilt ever overpower your emotions or an army man's or a defense personnel's emotions ever? Or are you so used to, or defense people are so used to that it doesn't affect them?
So Harry, it's wrong to assume that a soldier is not a normal human being. He's a very normal human being. He's trained to do something and is so constructed he will do something. But the person who feel that war is a crime against humanity are the army people. They feel it's a waste of effort and time to kill each other. So they feel sad about it. As you correctly said, in retrospect you feel that you kill people who had nothing to do with you. Because the politics so decided, उसके भाई बहन होंगे, उसके माँ बाप होंगे, उसकी अपनी feelings होंगी, उसकी महबूबा भी होगी, right? So I do feel that, but that's it after the war. And a soldier actually, a man in my mind, we don't want war.
जब हम war में होते हैं, we are combating, there's shelling all around, you are getting fired at, you fire at people are getting killed. What gives you strength? Is there just the training, or is there faith in your own abilities, faith in the universe, faith in God, something that is personal that keeps you grounded at that point in time, that leads you to believe that you will overcome whatever is going on at that point in time? What's your source of strength, and also what keeps you grounded? Because overconfidence also kills.
So first point, a soldier is trained to defend himself and kill the enemy. His first training is to defend himself, then kill the enemy. In war, there's only one thing in a man or soldier: how to kill that man and reach your objective. So at that time, while you have all the training behind you, but the most important part, how the people get motivated, how the fight is, naam, namak or nishan. That's the battalions. People fight for the battalion's name, for the honor of the battalion, to keep the tradition of battalion alive. So then of course it translates to brigade and division and the corps and command and country and nation. But at the beginning when you're fighting a war, you're fighting for a unit. You don't want a unit to be let down. And you see comrades all around you. And you have faith in each other that when you're fighting, nobody will let me down. They'll all be with me. So वो जज्बा जो है ना, उसको explain करना बड़ा मुश्किल है. And not thinking at that time. Even though you're taught to defend yourself, at that point of time, your only one aim and single aim is to kill the enemy for his country. And that if you die, it's martyrdom. If you survive, it's a victory. So that feeling is there. So most people don't understand this. A soldier fights for his unit first and foremost, and then takes him further up.
ये जो जज्बा है ये इंस्टेंटेनियसली तो होता नहीं है, ठीक है ना. इट टेक्स टाइम टू डेवलप दिस फॉन्डनेस and bring to a point where you are willing to do anything, even die for your unit or for the camaraderie all around you. You know, it's a very powerful statement that you said, that, you know, the faith that people around me will back me up, they will be around me. ये जज्बा आर्मी के अंदर या डिफेंस फोर्सेस में कैसे डेवलप होता है? बिकॉज दिस इज़ वेरी यूनिक. वी डोंट सी इट अराउंड इन द सिविलियन लाइफ, नॉट इवन फॉर योर रिलेशंस. सो ये जज्बा कैसे इंकलकेट किया जाता है इन पीपल हु आर वर्किंग विद द फोर्सेस?
सो आई थिंक ये दो बहुत अहम स्टेज है इसके. पहले तो ट्रेनिंग का. जब ट्रेनिंग होती है ना, उस वक्त दे ब्रेक अ मैन फर्स्ट, then cast him a soldier's body, then attempt to defend himself, and then attempt to kill a person. So this starts from there, right? And slowly, they have sports competition, they have different events, they have tug of war. So this sense of competition also brought in them, right? But most important for them is that when they join the units, they Christian them as a unit soldier. They baptize them. Now that baptism, to be part of the unit, it takes 3 to 4 years. A soldier cannot be a soldier of unit, that die-hard soldier, unless served in the unit for 3 to 4 years. Then he starts feeling that is part of the same body. And then he feels कि ये मेरी unit, मेरी जान, मेरी इज्जत, ये सब कुछ मेरा है. And I will do and die for my unit. So it takes time to build that thing. And I think the system of training and curating people to become like this is a steady process. You can't take a man, pick up and say, go and fight. He will not have that.
Absolutely.
He will not. It has to be the brotherhood, that knowing each other, just Kaka, Lakhi, you know me, and all that, you know, or any by other name, any community, they would know each other, and then they combine well. They are trained also well to combine well. And as I always tell you, repeat myself, the unit's name and izzat is one single most important thing with this jazba.
This is the sense of belongingness, or what you just said, brotherhood, that actually leads you to do what you intend to do. Now I want to bring the conversation towards Dea. Dea, you are a granddaughter of General, and first is you call him bossy. I came to know you call him bossy. Kyun? Does he boss around at home?
That's a good question. So actually, I feel like he's always just been the boss of our household, and my siblings and my cousins have grown up calling him bossy. So force of habit, I ended up calling him bossy as well. So yeah, that's basically the only reason why I came to call him bossy.
What makes you proud of your granddad?
I think knowing that obviously without his great commitments to the army and to his unit, as he just explained, I don't think India would have had as much liberation as we do today and as much power over Pakistan as we do today. And I think that just makes me really proud that he was such a big part in this, in me being able to say this sitting here right now. And yeah, I'm just really proud of him because he's got us to this.
What have you learned from his life?
I've learned that he's seen many.
What is the value system that you have, that you are proud of, and which you can say that, you know, this is something that I got from my granddad, and from his life, this is what I've got in me, and I'm really proud of this?
I think it's just the little things, I'd say, growing up around him and observing his little behaviors that have been etched into me the past 13 years. I think it's the little things like, I think he values punctuality and decorum a lot, and I feel like I've grown up to value that a lot as well. So that's one of the ways that he's highly influenced me. And I feel like also his presence and the way he carries himself, it really inspires me, and I want to bring that towards myself as well.
Amazing, amazing. You know, and you're born. Which year were you born in?
I was born in 2012.
2012. Fantastic. My son was born in 2012. But you know, we are born, including me. I mean, we're born in the times when we've not seen a real war and we have not been affected in our day-to-day lives. And you know, I can proudly say that because of people like him and soldiers that represent our country, even when Kargil War was going on, our lives were not affected in Delhi. Right. You know, I think that's what makes us very, very special in terms of what they do for us. As a grandchild, I'm sure you have questions for your granddad. And sir, you know, I think it is our duty as, not as a soldier, but as a grandparent, where we can share our stories in a manner so that they value how we value our independence. You know, the fact that we are living in a free society, being able to do whatever we want to do without anybody telling us that this is being imposed on you. You know, I would want Dea to ask your granddad questions that can bring this out. So I'll pass it on to you now.
First of all, I just wanted to start by gaining an insight on how it was for you to adjust to your everyday routine post-war. Was it easy? Was it hard? What did you feel? How was your experience?
Post-war or post-retirement? They're two different things.
No, it's very interesting. You brought out the second aspect also, but I think our question is post-war, because you know there's a lot of trauma that you have seen in the war. Like you said, every soldier is also a human being, you know. And so after that, after the war, when you came back, obviously there must have been some anxiety which you may not have ever shown to anyone else. So first is, was there anxiety that you felt? And if it was, how did you deal with it?
So let me answer your first question first, as it comes first. At the time of war, it is not that a soldier is not scared. It is not that he is not afraid. Mm-hmm. He is. But you know, it is after a few shots are fired at him. First day is most scared, second day less scared, and third day comes to live with it. Mm. He knows this is the life. I've been trained for this. I'm going through it. Mm. So he overcomes his fear. The fear is there. The fear unknown is there. Correct. When you're climbing mountains or attack those high peaks at 15,000 or 17,000 feet in Kargil, your fear of many, whether you will be able to climb that also or not. Correct. Then you survive the bullet when enemy fires on you. So the fears are overcome by very strong feeling of brotherhood. Mm. Your unit. I keep repeating this. Naam, namak, nishan. It's ingrained in your blood, it's your DNA. मैं अकेला नहीं हूँ, it's my unit's name which has been live and we are all together in it. So, and after the war, each individual has his own feelings. I had a feeling ki, what have you achieved? You've killed people, you know, they've killed our people. And the end of the war, we were on the same lines. We came back to the same lines what we had before the war.
True, that's true.
So we really achieved, I won't say neither the victory nor the loss, but we only had status quo. We restored status quo. And I think it's a lot of loss of life. And I don't think it matters to people in power. For them, it's just numbers. But look at the individual families. Look at the individual households. Right? So they are the most impacted. You also brought out sometime in war, you're living, when we are fighting a war, you're living very peacefully in Delhi. I want you to look at the families of soldiers who are fighting war.
Absolutely.
They were always on tenterhooks. And they never wanted to hear a phone ring at that time. There were no cell phones, no landlines. And there's some sat phones in the Fort, but very few. So ask any family, they dreaded the ring the most. Ki what news will the ring bring? So they were living tenterhooks. And I think a soldier's family, and a soldier's wife, has much more resilience and strength to accept this. People don't understand this. They go through so much of suspense and fear. And yet, they are brave people, and I think these soldiers' wives are the bravest lot I've seen in my life.
I think absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you on this. Yeah.
So, like you just said, you feel like there was only loss of lives and you didn't achieve much. So, when you were alone with your thoughts after Kargil, was there any moment that you pondered that you and your men could have done something better to maybe avoid all this loss of life or anything like that?
Your issue on the human side is different. That could you avoid this?
Okay.
Because a soldier, you don't avoid issues. If you remember, years back, the very great soldier.
Ranjit Singh?
No, a very good Chinese man. And he's a great thinker. It's the best way to win a war is without fighting. Without fighting. He has the acme of skill. If you win a war without fighting, that's the best way. And when you fight a war also, you should have least casualties. That's no beauty of war. So we in a war also felt that we've been ordered to fight a war. And so we do that.
Okay.
To think, long years back there was a Crimean War, and I'm addressing to you and her, there was a charge of Light Brigade,
Okay.
where the British soldiers charged Russian positions on horses. And they're only written by Tennyson, Lord Tennyson.
Yes.
And he said, theirs is not to question why, theirs but to do and die. Do you know the Britishers they reached the objective, they won the war, but they lost so many horses, so many people, that the parliament asked the question, was it worth it? So this is a question which I think the people have to ask, the government, the polity, was it worth it? You of course will feel very happy as a soldier. You achieved your aim, you won a battle, you pushed the enemy out, you thrashed them. You feel happy that you have done something and you are recognized for doing such good things. But as I said earlier, I told Harry earlier, that I think army officers at least feel that the battle is not a good thing to happen. It's a crime against humanity. You're killing each other without knowing that man, but you're killing each other for the purpose of the country.
Why do we have the wars? I mean, are the politicians to be held responsible for the situations that we get in?
Why do you have war? That's an interesting question. You have let's say, how the military come into war. Our aim in our country may be different. The US aim is in the other countries. They're two different issues. India is a very defensive mindset country, and we do want to protect our borders. And we have so many borders. We have 7 neighbors, 5 on land, 2 offshore neighbors. And there are territorial boundaries marked. So it's like a home. If you set a home, your boundary wall of your house. If somebody enters your home without permission and does some mischief, how will you feel about it? You will feel like shoot him out, throw him out. So army has a similar thing. Army's home is this huge country. So they can't accept anybody trespassing into their land. And अपना परचम नहीं लगा सकते वहाँ पर तो हिंदुस्तान का परचम ही होगा. So that is why when this happens, you are basically not an offensive mindset, India.
So every country has a very different perspective to why they would use their defense forces.
Like America has a different perspective. They want to project their forces worldwide. They want to impress their authority on people. We have not been doing so far. We have only been doing what to defend our country. The only one situation I think where we are forced to fight a war, where we had to liberate a country, that was the East Pakistan in 1971. And that also forced on us, because so many refugees coming, so many problems coming in that country, that we were forced to fight, and I think we fought a brilliant war under Sam Manekshaw. The first time after Second World War, we not only won a war, we not only changed the history, we changed the geography of the subcontinent. A new country was born, Bangladesh.
Absolutely.
So we fight a war for reasons primarily to defend our own territorial integrity, our sovereignty.
Dea, your next question.
So there's a study somewhere that says that around 10% of war veterans face depressive symptoms after war, like you mentioned. Did you see this environment unfold around people that you knew that went to combat with you, or did you face it yourself, and how did you react to it?
You're right, some people have a depression.
Yeah.
They feel that. The fear psychosis and also that depression, they go through it. I think more, not because we're going to kill somebody, but more of personal fear.
Yeah.
They are not able to overcome that fear.
What if I die and all of that?
Whatever fear they have, obviously, first you die, whatever fear they have. But in last few wars, there were very few. But as I see the society going a different direction, I think a person is slightly more. They feel that. But that is handled. Army handles it very well. That's how, Army, I think that way the Army, Indian Army is trained very well. And the commanders know that this sort of thing could take place and they know how to handle it.
Okay.
So it is there, it is true. It is true. But not such a large percentage. Not such a large percentage.
Yeah,
They're a small percentage.
Very small percentage. So, but I just wanted to highlight one thing you said. You said that the army is recognizes this problem, but I think we know that India is not very open towards the concept of psychology and doesn't really recognize that the psychological issues are present in humans. How do you feel that they recognize this? What do they put soldiers through to numb this fear? Or
this is again a very interesting question. So I would reroute it this way. That it is during the process of your selection, your training, your induction in the unit and the brotherhood. That takes care of a lot of these issues. And despite that, some people may feel that. It's not they won't feel that. Human beings. And every human is different. May feel differently. But the systematic way we work, by and large, a large percentage of people are quite attuned to accept this way of life. Some are, and then there are psychologists, there are people, they go down, they are taken to the hospitals, they are taken care of, and they are diagnosed, they are also helped.
yeah.
So they are looked after that way.
Okay. So now to just move on to the political aspect of things, Nawaz Sharif, in an interview, he referred to the Kargil War as a localized intrusion. Do you agree with this assessment of the situation, or do you have any other perspective? Or
first, I want to tell you that what happened in 1999, how it came across. There's a great bus diplomacy going on between India and Pakistan. Prime Minister Vajpayee, a great statesman, and he thought, particularly of both the countries, in the month of April or so, March and April, they had carried nuclear tests, India as well as Pakistan.
yes.
So Vajpayee Sahib realized, is a great thinker, great visionary. He realized that with this, I need to take some steps to allay fears of our border of Pakistanis, that we are not going to fight a war with them like this. He took initiative, and he had one-to-one talk with Nawaz Sharif. He was the Prime Minister, Musharraf was the President, was the Army Chief. One talk with him, and they decided that let's take bus yatra from Amritsar via Wagah border to Lahore to spend 2 days there. I think 19 February, if I remember correct, when they crossed Wagah border, and the great bonhomie on Wagah border. They were well received. But something amiss there. There are no army personnel there to receive the Indian Prime Minister. They were not there. So while all this was going on, and Nawaz Sharif pulling in, Pakistan towards peace with India, Musharraf, the army chief of Pakistan, was pushing Pakistan in a different direction. He had already planned on this operation, and while we're meeting at Wagah border, he was crossing his troops across the border, across the line of control in the Daras, Mashko, Batalik, Kargil sector.
Okay, yeah.
So, because you talk about local war, and Pakistan suffers from a great feeling of loss of respect.
Okay.
Because whatever they've done to India, they've had to face a very hard retaliation and loss of face.
Yeah, yeah.
And 1984 Siachen happened. Such a great glacier where India preempted them, occupied them.
Yeah.
So it was always in the mind of Musharraf that we should do something. So they were keen to take revenge on this, and they thought when everybody is involved in bus diplomacy and we're comfortable that nothing will happen, he took a great masterstroke to come across this. So actually it was a localized war. So what India did also, and they came and sat smug, and they put on a back foot. You know what cricket, we play back foot, but they did not know that Indian army has very good back foot players, and they would smash them.
Yeah.
And exactly, a very sturdy Indian army military went through the whole process very deliberately. They made their plans and they were able to throw them out.
Right.
So you see at the end of war also we did not cross LC. So there are schools of thought
Okay.
that the Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif did not even know the Musharraf is planning this thrust.
Right.
Yeah, there's school of thought. Some say he knew, some say, most people say, I read a book by Zahra Naseem, Pakistani, very good author. He did not know. He was only told that we're doing something to promote jihad in the valley and give him logistic support. They never told him they crossed the border.
Okay.
So it was obviously a still localized war.
Yeah.
And I'm happy it's still localized war, because spread war is not a good thing, and we were able to throw them out at a great cost. They faced great humiliation,
Right.
militarily, politically, diplomatically.
Yeah.
They were hiding the face. They did not know what to do.
Okay.
So they lost all their image in the country,
Okay.
and we were able to throw them out. So it stayed a local war.
We were talking about the similarity between what we saw in Kargil to what you were explaining what happened in 1839. Can you explain that for our viewers?
So way back in 1837,
1837.
when the armies under Ranjit Singh, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and Afghans were at war. So Afghanistan was one country where nobody was able to capture the country. You saw how the US would withdraw, the Russian to pull out, right? But 1837, this force was led by a chap called Har Singh Nalwa, a great soldier, a legendary soldier. And when he went to Pakistan, there's a very famous pass there, Jamrod Pass. Jamrod is the most important pass because there it divides two parts of the country, and if whoever had a hold on that would have access to both sides. So he went to capture that. Now that was so fearsome. He was so strong. And the Afghanis would fear him. And not only Afghanis' mother would also tell the children, Har Singh Nalwa Ragdo. Meaning, Har Singh Nalwa has come, go to sleep or hide. They were so scared of him. And this was a cry which you often heard from their side. And a similar thing like this also happened in Kargil. And what was that?
Hame bachao, hame.
When the artillery started firing on them, 100 guns firing on a 4 to 5 football field area, or somewhere less, somewhere more. Now 100 guns were able to throw. Let me get back to you on this issue. We had 100 guns firing on them, and each gun and all guns were fired in one shot, 3,000 kgs of metal and explosive on the target. 3,000 kgs of this thing. And in less than 30 minutes, we fired 100,000 kgs of explosive on them. So there no chance of survival. And every time we fired at them, they would say, Hame bachao, yahan par kahr baras raha hai. Save us. Hell is falling on us. That cry was heard every peak we captured. So that is why relating it, that if you can apply your force in a manner which can scare the enemy, then obviously they'll be scared of you. And they were very scared of the Indian artillery. And conversely, the Indian soldier came to revere them as a savior. And this Indian soldier accepts it. And they make not shy to say that the artillery had really saved their lives. And every time people after a victorious sojourn to hills, they came back, they would go to gun areas to pay obeisance to the guns and salute them as their saviors. So same artillery, one hated one side, one side they loved. That's the story of artillery, how the artillery was able to.
And you were also telling me a story of the Indian army man who got recognized by both sides. Would you like to share that story with us?
Okay, I think that talks about great ethics of the armed forces, world across. World across. I think because armed forces don't fight as personal enemies. They fight for a cause. There's a place called Tiger Hill, the famous Tiger Hill.
Yes.
It's 15,000 feet height, and it was so dominating. And you saw Barkha Dutt showing those scenes on the Tiger Hill.
Correct.
Now this was to be captured by a brigade, 192 brigade under Brigadier Bajwa. So when they reached on top, and Pakistan have a inbuilt drill for counterattack. Moment you reach there, they know that you're not settled there, they will counterattack. In Tiger Hill, we came with such many incidents. And Tiger Hill was actually last vestige. After this, there's nothing else but only one more hill, 0.4875, otherwise lost. So they fought very bravely. Now they launched numerous counterattacks. And there's a young captain there, Colonel Sher Khan, I think Frontier Force, if I recall correctly. Now he repeatedly carried out attack after attack. And the commander was so impressed with him, they recommended him for the highest award of Pakistan nation, Nishan-e-Haider. And on one side, the chap was like Yogendra Yadav. When the start of the Kargil War happened, he with the commando platoon, Ghatak platoon, 20 odd people, they were able to reach the top. And when they reached the top of Tiger Hill, they could take a part of it. And they were lying tired, wounded, fatigued. Climbing 20,000 feet is not a joke. And it's a difficult route. And then they saw the counterattack coming, Pakistan counterattacking them. This Naik Yogendra Yadav, a young man, young soldier, he asked his CO to fire more artillery on them. Now you never fire own artillery on own troops. There's a process called DFSOS. It is save our souls. It happens in defenses. When in defense in bunkers and enemies come on you, so you ask own artillery to fire, so that you are safe and not safe, they'll get killed. But Yogendra Yadav said, no, fire on us. So CO told him, are you pagal? It can be fatal. You know what he said? He said, marna to वैसे भी है और वैसे भी है, अब fire करो. And so given to him. Now that artillery fired and the counterattack dissipated. Now that was a changing moment for Kargil victory. If we had lost that thing, the Kargil may not be with us, or it will be more difficult to get it. So he changed the table on the enemy by showing greater faith in artillery, the artillery itself, and got his own artillery fire on them. So he was recommended for the Paramveer Chakra. So the same battle, two opposing sides were recommended by the same commander for two highest awards. One Paramveer Chakra, Yogendra Yadav, and one for Nishan-e-Haider. And both got it. It's a unique case in the military history.
Dea, you have more questions?
Yes, so like you said a few minutes ago, Lahore, Pakistan and India had, I think, signed some Lahore declaration where they had to meet at the border. So while they were meeting, obviously Musharraf was planning to infiltrate the line of control and all. How did you react once you found out that they were covertly trying to do this? And do you feel that this revelation altered political relations between India and Pakistan, or what was your reaction?
A very fine question, dear. Because we were surprised
Obviously, yeah.
in the comfort that both countries are moving towards peace,
Yeah.
we thought nothing will happen. And I think we were also lax in that. So Pakistan, I don't think Pakistan also knew what was going to happen. So we were totally taken by surprise. And of course, Vajpayee learned of this. He came back of Lahore 22nd February, learned of it. And he obviously told Nawaz Sharif, either pull back or face the consequences.
Yeah.
And he too, this book I was talking about, Zahra Naseem, I think.
Yeah.
That's the name. I don't remember the name. She said that Nawaz Sharif was totally shaken. What has army done? His own army.
Yeah.
Right? So we were surprised, we were shocked, and we had initial losses. We suffered initial losses. I told you we were good player, back foot players. We smashed them. And we hit boundaries and fours and sixes and actually ruined their reputation and their face.
Yeah.
Obviously, thereafter relation was strained, and it took a long time that to again. I don't know if relation with Pakistan and India would ever be would be good. I hope they are, but they're both neighbors, and live with neighbors like this each other. So I only hope and good sense prevails on them, and we live as good neighbors.
So you said that Nawaz Sharif may or may not have known, and he was shocked when he found out that they were covertly planning an infiltration. Do you think, had he known, knowing the extent of the power that the military has over Pakistan versus the government, do you think Nawaz Sharif would have been able to stop this infiltration?
What a question. What a question. I'm not too sure. But this plan was hatched by just 4 top generals of the Pakistan army. Musharraf himself and 3 others.
Okay.
And about these plans, nobody knew about that. Not even the other generals, not in the ISI they say, not even the Air Force, not the Navy.
Okay.
It was only known to these people, and I think in some manner, in this only this planning and execution of this plan, Musharraf was brilliant. It was brilliant. He shocked us out of it. He surprised not only us, also the nation. So to answer your question first, I am not too sure if he would have stopped it, because the military in Pakistan runs the roost.
Very powerful.
But maybe that he would have put a spoke in this thing. You know what he was told by these Pakistan people? They told, you will come out as savior of Kashmir, as the great man who brought Kashmir to us. When he learned this is going on, so he said, let it go. Maybe I will become a great man, great statesman of Pakistan. And so that is why, that is after it happened, and he learnt of it. But I'm not too sure if it stopped the operation.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it stopped the operation.
You said that based on the Indians' artillery performance and all of that, Pakistan faced great humiliation post Kargil. Do you think that maybe the effects of this humiliation would have altered further political turmoil that India and Pakistan went through? For example, 26/11 and all of that?
I don't know, because I think this also gave them one more loss, one more humiliation, one more shame. And here the country went world over.
Yeah.
Right? So no allies left really.
Okay. Yeah.
So whether Pakistan will change its attitude or will it stay the same? As many pundits are working on that to work out horoscopes and work out what will happen. But I personally feel, the personal feeling, that stability in our subcontinent is very important, and maybe we should learn to live as good neighbors.
That's very true, yeah.
Very difficult to answer your question, that's a very deep question.
But I think, what you said earlier, that maybe they are living with the humiliation that they had in the past from India, of facing the defeat in the war, losing Bangladesh as a nation, and that kind of keeping Siachen Glacier.
Kargil.
So I think that's what is keeping their the need to prove themselves and retaliate for all these humiliations, that is probably probing them to keep continuing to do something against India.
So their main aim is Kashmir.
Right.
The main crib is
it's a-
Kashmir is theirs. And they're not prepared to accept what is happening in Kashmir now. Let me tell you a very interesting point again. Again from Nasir Zahra's book. I did not know about it till I did some research for writing my book. He says even the armed forces, there were a divide between pre-1965 Army of Commissioned Officers and post-1965 Commissioned Officers. 1965.
Yes.
That's after 48 for 65 war when they launched Operation Gibraltar to annex
Yes.
part of J&K in Chamjorian sector. People who had fought the war, now this is a plan, you have to know background. This is a plan made by the president, Ziaul Haq. Right? And the plan was that somehow we should get an upper hand over Hindu India.
Right.
The feeling was there. And this plan was also proposed to the Prime Minister, Ms. Bhutto, when she was there. And Bhutto put it on back foot. He says, too volatile, just don't touch it. A similar plan. It's called Operation Tupac.
Okay.
Right? That's what he planned. Ziaul Haq, Operation Tupac. I put it in back burner. So in that, the pre-1965 operations, they knew that war has no meaning. And they were against it. They opposed it. But post-65 operations like Musharraf and all, they were all for this. Right. Musharraf was a commando, by the way. A commando, and I think he was also there when they lost Siachen. So he always carried the crib of having lost Siachen to us. So that is, that divide was there, and I don't know how the army now, what do they feel now? And I think they'll not stop it. What happened in Pahalgam just now?
I know.
Another sign of it. So every 20 years, they get some itch.
Maybe it's ingrained in their thought process now, I think. Yeah.
To just close off, Pakistan publicly stated, like Musharraf, I think publicly stated that his intentions were far from starting a full-fledged war. He just simply wanted the territory that India had, like Siachen Glacier and Kargil and all. Do you think it was like naive to carry this expectation while you're actively infiltrating a new country and crossing the line of control and sitting on the top of the peak ready to fire on the opposing army?
So that's a very good plan in a way.
Yeah.
Because at that point of time, the one only road link from Srinagar across the Zula Pass to Leh and further beyond Siachen.
Yeah.
And there's no other way of supply other than air, of course. Right? So he made a masterstroke and he came to an area close to LC where the road was the closest.
Okay.
So in Kargil, Daras area, it was the closest. He came there and he thought that he will set, and he came in winters.
Yeah.
When people think people can't operate here. He came in winters, severe winters. He started in February and he was there. And his vision was he will cut off this link and force India to withdraw from Siachen.
Yeah.
He had miscalculated
He didn't expect it.
the strength of the people of the country and the military, Indian military. He made a mistake on that and they had to pay for it.
Right.
They were quite happy. They had taken it for granted. They're sitting tight right on top, very safe and secure, and they are invincible. But the myth of invincibility was broken by the Indian military.
Right. Yeah.
You're done with your questions? I have two questions, General. One is that if you could get an opportunity, or if you ever, were to speak to a soldier who went with you to the Kargil War but never returned, what would you tell them?
If I were to meet him in next world, he never returned, I would hug him and tell him that you're a hero and the country does pay that homage to you every year. What else can I tell him?
And my last question, General, before I let you go, is with the kind of life that a soldier lives, with the kind of risk that he takes for the nation, and the fear with which he or she today and the family back home, the children, the parents are living with. The army takes care of its people, but how is the life post-retirement for these soldiers? Because there are two aspects to it. One is, are we doing enough? Or second is, how does the life get affected anyways when you start living a civilian life? I remember I happened to be with an ex-army officer who had just retired in a car traveling with him, and he had always been in smaller towns where he had commanded. But when you come to Delhi and you come in as a civilian, and nobody seems to care about who you are and what your past has been, the life hits you hard. So what's the post retirement feeling for a soldier or an army officer? Because the reason I'm asking you separately for a soldier and an army officer is because the soldiers in India are retiring at a very young age. They have a whole life ahead of them to live as a civilian.
I think it's a very raw deal for them. To retire a soldier at a young age, with the children growing up, he has no home, going to be marriageable age. You put him in a space outside army with no alternative. Today, a soldier from the army, young soldier who comes from the army, I'm talking about the other ranks, what is the job? What do they get? They become security guards. The ultimate. It's a shame. There was a move at one time to get all the soldiers to induct them into BSF, CSF, paramilitary forces. I wonder why it didn't work out. They would have had a great experience, people in the forces, well-disciplined people, and they would have done very well there also. I don't know what happened, how it got changed. So I think the pension, by the way, that a soldier gets today, most soldiers are not so rich when they join. Most soldiers are from small land holdings and from not so rich families. So their pension alone is not something which they can live on. That's why it becomes security guards, which is quite humiliating. I think the country should give a greater thought कि क्या करना चाहिए इनको, उनकी कुछ तो रिस्पेक्ट रखनी चाहिए. They've given the best years to the army, so they should be looked after. As an officer concerned, sir, by the same story, but officer I think retired at a much later age. So wise officer start planning the retirement. I was the unwise one. I never planned retirement. When I left army, I had no house. And my wife always pestered me, let's get a house. I said, no, बहुत साल हैं, घर ले लेंगे. Now that is the most army officers think that. They can't think beyond the army. They don't think after army what. But these days I think army officers are understanding a little more. They're better paid. They're planning the future better. So they're wiser than what I was. I definitely know that. And they're planning it. And army officers should understand, one inning is finished. They should live in the glory and the good thoughts and settle down to new life. Absolutely. They should settle to new life. There's no other option. If you do that, you will live happy. If you don't do that, you will always be unhappy. So you have to choose. We did a great job. Once I retired, I forgot about the army. I said, fine. We had a very good inning, very good life. So we settled down to start new innings. I'm quite happy.
Fantastic. So, General, first of all, thank you so much for taking out time, because this conversation, with you and Dea's conversation with you has been far beyond just discussing the war, just discussing Kargil.
That's true.
But I think it is more about revisiting the courage, revisiting the morality, revisiting the human side of a soldier, and humanity in itself for people who are in the defense. So thank you so much for opening your heart and speaking with us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Dea. I had a good time answering these questions. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Bye, Dea.